If you've seen any of my other videos, more than likely then you've already seen a video with my yard around my house. Here's my swimming pool, which we're refilling right now. Emptied it and cleaned it yesterday. And then this is my yard right around my house. It's about 3 acres, I guess. And that includes these 2 corrals that are off in the distance. That one has corn in it, and back in the corner is asparagus. But what you can see is lots of trees and lots of shade, and most of these trees, I would estimate 3 out of 4 of them are called Ramon trees. And Ramon gets very tall. That one right there in the middle, the tall one, that's Ramon. This one right here next to the pool, that's Ramon. Right here next to the pool, that's Ramon. And what happens is the old man who used to live here, the ranchers plant these Ramones. 1, because it makes a lot of shade for their house and keeps the yard cool, but 2, the cows love to eat them, eat the leaves. In fact, if some of these trees that have not been pruned recently, if a cow gets near them, they'll stand up on their back feet to grab the branches out of the trees. It's funny to watch. But the Ramon grows very fast and makes lots of leaves. And as I said, it keeps its leaves all year long, so it makes a nice shade. And here's my front porch. I never have direct sunlight hitting my house in my front porch. But what I wanted to show you here this morning was on the ground. This is the season where the Ramon trees start making their nuts. Can you see them on the ground there? Next to my hammer and trowel. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. And so I would like to have a lot more Ramon trees on the property for shade and for food for cows. So you look on the ground here, and most people just see a whole bunch of these Ramon nuts, which you can cook and boil and eat, or you can roast and make into coffee beans, a coffee drink. Seemed like somebody told me there was a way you could cook them where they tasted like mashed potatoes. But I'm interested in them for another reason. I'm looking here on the ground at all these nuts, and I see something different. When I was starting college, Robert Kennedy was running for president, and he was assassinated by Sirhan Sirhan. Of course, his brother had been assassinated, 5 years before John Kennedy. But Robert was a young man, like his brother, very charismatic, had a big following. And he had a quote that he used all the time. And it was, some men see things as they are and ask why. I dream things that never were and ask why not. And it's a great quote. I love the quote. But unfortunately, Robert Kennedy didn't make that up. He was quoting George Bernard Shaw and not giving him credit for it. But there are a lot of things I can't do very good. But one thing I can do good is I can visualize something that can come from something else. This ranch looked nothing like this a year ago. You couldn't even see 10 meters in front of you. But also, when I look on the ground here, I don't see a bunch of Ramon nuts. I see trees. I see hundreds and hundreds of trees that are just waiting to be grown. I'm seeing shade and forest and, oh my gosh, lots of trees. So here's the start of what I picked up. I don't know, I guess there's probably 250 nuts here, and we're going to plant these this morning. I've got some little nursery planting bags, and I'm going to start a forest this morning. Salvador, my Mayan superintendent, has told me that it will take about a month to get them sprouted up out of the ground, and then in 5 months they should be about 30 centimeters tall. So here's the start of a new forest in the making. By the way, I was talking to one of my children about this forest that I have inside this bag here, waiting to become a forest. And I mentioned to him that in probably 5 years, these nuts that they see right here would be a little tree about 3 meters tall, giving some shade. And every year after that, they just increase exponentially. I suspect that this tree right here is 20 or 25 years old. Well, my daughter pointed out to me, reminded me that I'm 73 years old, and in 5 years I'll be 78, and wondered why I would be spending my time doing such a thing that would make shade in 5 years. And so I just asked her, how old will I be in 5 years if I don't do this?